Hi guys, it's Carol. How are ya? I am so excited. I'm getting to get out of town. Casey's gone in to get us drinks. We just got gas. And we are going to uh, the town of Groom, Texas to show you this huge cross. So, uh, that's what we're doing. I mean, I am excited. I haven't been more than a mile from my apartment probably in a couple of years. If I had my own car and money for gas, I would go somewhere constantly. I would. I would pick up my sister and we would just go, 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 go. But anyway, Casey is off and she's taking me to see the cross at Groom. I'll tell you all about it in a minute. Hang on. Well, I made it home. It's about 40 miles to Groom. My gosh, Casey and I were exhausted after we rode 40 miles to Groom and 40 miles back. I don't know how people take long vacations. We're just wimps, I guess, because we were tired. But anyway, I'm going to stick on pictures I took at the cross. Let me tell you about the cross. There was a family that lived in Pampa, raised their children there. The man's name is Steve Thomas. The wife's name is Bobby. If you watch NFL, you might recognize their son's name. His name is Zach Thomas, and he played for the Miami Dolphins for 12 years. But he grew up in Pampa. Anyway, Mr. Thomas, Steve, was so disgusted by the billboards driving from Pampa to Amarillo that advertised things like adult bookstores. There's a lot of truck stops and things out there, the airport, and there are a lot of billboards advertising disgusting things. So he decided he wanted to put up a billboard to counter those adult entertainment billboards. So he was pondering on it, trying to figure out what verse he wanted to put on his billboard. And one day his wife handed him a magazine article, and it was about this giant cross in Ballinger, Texas, I believe. And he looked at it and he said, well, duh, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a cross. And she said to him, well, I didn't think you'd build one. I just wanted to show it to you. But he was a structural engineer, and so he decided, I'm building this huge cross. He didn't want it to be inside the city limits because you can't do religious things on city property or anything. He didn't want the government involved in any way. He found out that any structure over 200 feet is under the jurisdiction of the FAA, and you have to have a beacon, a red beacon on top. Well, he didn't want that. So he designed it to be 190 feet tall, 19 stories. And then he began to search. After he planned what he was going to build, he began to search for a place to put it. They had been at a meeting in Amarillo with somebody over some kind of property, and it didn't work out. And so on the way home, they were driving down I-40 going east, and his wife said, well, what about this piece of property right here by an exit? And Mr. Thomas says, you know, the good Lord works through a man's wife. So he contacted the owner of that piece of property. It's on some ranch land, and told the owner what he wanted to do, and he was prepared to offer a certain amount of money for a portion of this ranch. And the ranch owner said, I'll give you 10 acres. I'll just give it to you. So now he had a place to put his cross. He had to have it built. It took 8 months. You know how accurate the internet is. Some articles say it took over 100 welders to build it. Other articles say 250 welders. I don't know how many welders, but a lot. I don't know where he found them all. Anyway, it's 190 feet tall. The arms are 110 feet across. It weighs 1,250 tons. It's huge. It's not the tallest cross in America, though. There's one in Illinois taller. It's just barely under 200 feet. Well, anyway, it took 8 months to build this cross. Got it erected. It had to be built in sections, of course, and then when they got them to the site, they had to all fit together perfectly. And they did. Got it erected. And at first, the only thing on this piece of property was the cross. Then eventually, they had a small, like, visitor center building. This is all on private property. It's not state of Texas or United States. It's all on private property, but anybody's welcome to come stop. And they encourage people in cars and trucks and 18-wheelers to stop there. Eventually, it was built in 1995. Eventually, they built a visitor center that's wonderful. It's really nice. It has a gift shop and a meeting room and a counseling room and I don't know what else, but it's beautiful. Around the cross, in a circle, a non-ending circle, are the Stations of the Cross. They're statues. Now, everything I've read says they're life-size statues. If that's true, Christ was a lot more petite than I picture him. But I don't know. Maybe they are. I was bigger than them. But anyway, have these bronze statues. There's a bronze replica of the Last Supper. There's a replica of the empty tomb. There's, they have a man-made hill, because out here everything's flat as a pancake. There's a man-made hill to represent Calvary. And there's a theater there with 225 seats. People get married out there. Evidently, a lot of marriage proposals happen under the feet of Christ. If somebody were going to propose to me, I think that'd be a wonderful place. Anyway, it's just awesome. And I have lived in the Texas Panhandle since the late, my son is 36 and he was 3. So I've lived here 33 years. 40 miles down the road. Built in 1995. I was here. Never been there. But today was a beautiful day. It's 79 degrees. There's not a cloud in the sky. The wind's blowing, but the wind always blows here. Tomorrow's Easter. So I just asked Casey, do you think you could drive me to the cross? And she said, okay. So we took off. In the first part of the video, I told you I haven't been more than a mile away from my apartment in years. That's a lie. My doctor's office is 7.2 miles from my front door. But that's the farthest I've been away from the apartment in a long time. It's been forever. Honestly, I think the last time I went out of town, I went to Ruidoso with my sister and her daughters. That was before Taylor was born, my granddaughter, who's 10. And before that, it was to my mother's funeral in 1992. I don't get out of town often. But anyway, Casey and I had a good time. We came home exhausted. I don't know how people travel all day long. We are wimps because we were exhausted. But we had a good time. So I'm going to stick in the pictures right here. Oh, and at the end, I'm going to tell you something about shopping at Walmart. Don't leave till you watch that little clip about Walmart, okay? All right, here they come.
Well,
Here it is. That's the visitor center you can see on the right between those two trees. Well, with the sun on my cell phone, I can't tell if you can read this, but it says, dedicated to the sanctity of life and loving memory of the innocent victims of abortion. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Jeremiah 1:5. I wish I had something to clean the bird poop off of this, but I don't. This is the Last Supper. The Empty Tomb. I can't tell if I'm recording, but there's a close-up of a wind turbine with the trucks underneath it, so you can kind of tell how huge they are. Okay, guys. Before I get to the cross, I want to tell you about something else. If you download the Walmart app on your phone, there's a little scanner right there. And in the store, you can scan things to see what the price is. But the cool thing is, when they put things on clearance, if it doesn't sell, they lower the price, but they don't change the sticker. So, for instance, not too long ago, I bought my grandson a shirt that was marked $4. When I got up to the register, it was just $1. And Casey's had that happen to her too. And now we know that's why. And so if you have that app on your phone, just scan anything in the store that you want. I'm sorry, my fingers. I'm doing two phones. Whoops. I got it off the thing. Sorry about that. Right there is that little scanner. Just, especially if it's on clearance, scan it and see what the real price is. Okay, that's my tip for the day. Now we're going to hit the road to go to Groom.